Hello all, welcome back to the C tutorials. In today's class, we are going to see about data types. There are four different basic data types that we use in C. They are integer, float, character, and double. Integer data types are used to store integer variables. So if you want to define a variable as integer, you have to use the following syntax. So if you want a function to return integer data, you have to specify it like this. So in the previous classes, while compiling our programs, we saw an error in our terminal stating that your main function needs to return int. So how to solve this problem is that you have to prefix your main function definition with the keyword int. So if you compile your program now with the Linux terminal having your return type as int for main function, your problem will be solved and the warning message will not be shown again. So we'll continue. Now we'll go to float. Floating point data types are used to store decimal values like 1.1, 1.2, etc. So if you want to define a variable as a floating point, you have to follow the following syntax. And if you want your return type of a function to be float, you can define it like this. So this will make your function 1 to return floating point data. So next we'll move on to characters. So if you want your variable to store any alphanumerical characters like A to Z and 1 to 9 and also any special characters like brackets and slashes, etc. You can make use of characters. So for a variable to store character data, you have to define it like this, and for your function to return character data, you have to follow the following syntax. Here, note that int, float, char, and double are all keywords. They cannot be used for any other purposes. They have their own special purposes, only where they can be used. Okay. So next we'll move on to double. A double is a floating point integer that can store data with double precision. So let us take an example where a is a floating point integer which has value 2.234. So if a is being defined as double, the value of a will become 2.23. So it is rounded off to 2 digit and it's more precise. So this is the use of double. So we have seen all the basic data types: integer, that is float, character, integer, and double. Other than the basic data types, there are also other data types like void and enumerated data type. The use of void data type will be known by you only when you come across the concepts of functions and pointers. We'll see about functions and pointers in our later classes. You just keep a note that a void before a function or a pointer definition means that it returns or points to nothing. Next, we'll move on to enumerated data type. Enumerated variable stores integer constants. So to define a variable as an enumerated data type, you have to use the keyword enum followed by your variable name and its values. So by default, if you print the values of a, b, and c now, the values of a, b, and c will be 0, 1, 2 respectively. You can also change the values of a, b, and c explicitly by defining them inside the enumerated brackets. So if you now print the value of a, b, and c, it will be 10, 12, and 23 respectively as you stated. So that's all about the basic data types. So I have mentioned a question here saying what is size of? I'll tell you. Size of is a function that returns the size of the variable. So we cannot say that each and every variable of a specific data type occupies same memory space in all the systems. Size occupied by integer and float in most of the computer systems is only 4 bytes and character is 1 byte. So it may change from one system to another. In some computers, the memory space occupied by integer and float is also 2. Depending upon the compiler, the memory space occupied by the variable changes. So that's it for today. We'll see about void and enumerated data type deeply in the upcoming lessons. So I hope you understood what I taught you. Please subscribe for our channel. It will be more helpful for us, and thank you.